favorite type of weed was cocaine. You'd see me snorting a bowl of weed, you know? Get that Thanksgiving for your snout, Daddy. I'm talking about cocaine. Dude, I remember I had some good cocaine one time over there in Tucson, Arizona. Hell, I put 2 grams in my car. It was out of gas.
You like music, you like house.
All right, real quick update on the Fuck the Jews sign that was at my bar.
Why are y'all voting for Kamala Harris?
I don't want to lose my rights. Like, I'm a trans man and I'm gay and I have been pregnant and I've had an abortion before and I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
Beagle is a millionaire?
Yep.
Yeah, I had about $4 million, honey.
Four,
right.
$4 million.
You want to go out?
Yeah, I'll take you out. I'll fuck you right on the spot. Wow.
It's cultural swine, bitch. Now where's the blow?
All right, yeah. For once, the news is fucking popping off today, so we actually get to delve into some observations, rants, and tangents on what's going on in the fucking news. So, we'll start with Dave Portnoy and his bar. His Barstool Sports bar that was put under a anti-Semitic threat either yesterday or the night before that. I don't remember, but it was heinous. I mean, this threat, I couldn't even imagine what they were thinking, given the past atrocities they've been put through. Just the hostile character of these people and this threat, I mean, it's just gut-wrenching. Heinous activity. And there's absolutely no merit at all for this type of fucking behavior, especially in a Jew-owned bar. Pardon me. Get a little sip. You might want to sit down for this because this is very, very tough to hear. So yesterday, or the day before, I don't remember, Dave Portnoy, the president of Barstool Sports, saw a video of his waitresses and bottle service team serving a table at one of his bars in Philadelphia, bottles and alcohol and whatever else they're serving, with the bottle service sign, which is just like a lit up white sign with black letters that you can pretty much put whatever message you want on. And this sign said, "Fuck the Jews." And, well, there's really no violent interactions going on. It almost seems as if either most of the bar is in agreement, or there's just a bunch of people there that are too afraid to either say something if they don't agree with what's going on, or they just don't care. But the table that the waitresses and bottle service team were serving definitely ordered it, I'm guessing, and asked to have that be what's written on the sign. And the waitresses and the rest of the team complied, and they ended up putting the message on the sign and carrying out the bottle service. And what happened was Dave Portnoy got word of this, saw the video, flipped the fuck out, and, went on a rant on Twitter, just a fucking, a tirade, because he's never criticized anyone, especially, not the woke, very easily offended left, because he's never done that, right? And he's never been, one of these guys that makes fun at people who get offended very easily. He never did it on Rogan. He doesn't ever do it on X. He just never does that, right? He's not allowed to. Even though he seems to be a very, very strong advocate for free speech, which is what these people in his bar were expressing and practicing their First Amendment right. So let's go to, let's see. So this is what he said. We have, here. Go back. Shit, I didn't bookmark it. But he has an initial, I would say gut reaction to this and gets on Twitter and says, or X, and he goes, so, at 6 ABC begged me to do an interview. No, that's not it. That's later on. Shit, I gotta find the first one. Alright, so here it is. Alright, so he goes... Let's listen.
All of a sudden, my phone, the last hour.
Nah, it's 3 minutes. I'm just gonna read the transcript. So he says he vows revenge after seeing a "fuck the Jew" sign at his Philadelphia bar last evening. Portnoy says he is tracking down the people responsible and has already fired 2 waitresses. I'm gonna fucking make it my life fucking mission to ruin these people. Like I'm coming to your throat. And that was a quote. Here's another quote. I have been on the trail. Trust me. I've been on the trail. You think I'm gonna put up with this bullshit at my bar? I'm giving you 1 fucking hour. I'm gonna watch the video again to see the vibe of these people in the bar. Damn, everyone's recording it. Yeah, it looks like a private table. Yeah, it looks like a private table. So I don't know if, no, people that are not at the table see it too. They're recording. All right, so yeah, that's what happened. And then Dave decides to go back on X after, spewing that shit out, that he's going to make it his life's mission to ruin their lives. He says, emergency press conference. There was a "fuck the Jew" sign at our Phillies bar last night. I am shaking. I'm so mad. Okay. That must have been with the original. All right. Here it is. Emergency press conference. I'm sending the people who ordered the "fuck Jew" sign at my bar to Auschwitz to learn about the Holocaust. Rather than ruin a couple 20-year-olds' lives, maybe this can be used as a teaching moment. Okay. Well, maybe they don't agree with you in everything that you believe that you were told history, like that we were all told is history. Maybe some people are not actually in agreement with this, which, send them to Auschwitz. And, well, they might just say, why are there 6 million pairs of shoes and no bodies? But I don't want to get into that right now. I'm not a historian. I've never been there. So since I've never been there and I'm not an expert, I'm not going to, give my opinions on history, even though our experts, have a great track record, especially over the last 5 years, let alone the last fucking 3 decades. So he's going to send them to Auschwitz. And the funny thing is, I think he edited the tweet. I'm so retarded, I wouldn't even have been able to tell you where Auschwitz is. I probably would have said somewhere, I don't know. I actually don't know where I would have said. I don't really care. I don't care, to be honest. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't. Okay? Who's going to take him on the tour? Like, if I was one of these kids and he's like, I'm going to send you to Auschwitz instead of ruin your fucking life, I would have been like, who's going to take me on the tour? Who's going to tour me around? Ben Shapiro? I mean, is Ben Shapiro's little faggot ass going to tour me around Auschwitz and teach me and just, speak really fast to me and tell, and just, essentially post a video on YouTube after saying Ben Shapiro destroys woke rightist who's a Holocaust denier, which I'm not. I think the numbers are spewed. Okay? Never said it didn't happen. No one's saying that. I'm just saying, who's going to tour me around? Ben Shapiro, the guy that's more loyal to his his handlers than he is to the US where he resides. The one that, will talk to his listeners about how bad porn is for the United States, how much it is destroying young men, and the mating that is happening in the US, the mating behavior, I should say. Yeah, he gets to say all that stuff, but, AIPAC is the one who funds him, and OnlyFans sends money to AIPAC. Oh, that's really weird. So you're funded by porn, bitch. That's all right. It's all right. You know who else? You want to know something else, Ben Shapiro? Who owns Pornhub? Jewish rabbi Who owns OnlyFans? Jewish rabbi. How do you even get the title rabbi? Oh, I forgot. You got to perform the Jewish circumcision on a baby, which includes sucking the baby dick. To commence the ceremony, you got to suck the blood off the baby's dick. That's what gives you the title of rabbi. Okay, so when you see someone like Rabbi Shmuley, who looks more like the missing link in evolution of humans, he had to perform something like that. That's how he got the rabbi title. And aside from looking like a fucking total mutant creature rat fuck, Rabbi Shmuley also sells dildos and sex toys with his daughter, in which he talks with her about on a podcast, because that's really normal behavior as well. Rabbi Shmuley looks like the depictions of many cartoons and has a lot of the same tendencies and behaviors that those cartoons portrayed, which is really weird. And we were told that those were racist, anti-Semitic people. But everywhere else you look, leaving the Jews out, stereotypes kind of play out correctly. But when it comes to the fucking Jays, well, it's anti-Semitic. And anti-Semitism, well, this isn't me saying it. RFK said it is the number one threat to American health. So that's what he said. So better watch. Stay 6 feet apart from people. Put your mask on. Don't go outside because anti-Semitism is in the air. All right. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know where I was going with all that, but yeah, I'm a retard. I just lost my whole train of thought. But yeah, Portnoy. He's going to send him to, Auschwitz. And the funny thing is, I couldn't tell you where it was, but he said in the original video he's going to be sending them to Germany to visit Auschwitz to learn the history of the Holocaust. And I don't know. I didn't see anything weird about saying that because I'm a retard and didn't remember this lesson because I was too busy probably staring at my teacher's ass. So he must have corrected the tweet because now it says Poland, but I did see tweets before he corrected it that were like, you're so fucking retarded that you don't even know where you're sending these people. And so it's just weird to think that he feels so strongly about this, but he doesn't even know the history he's supposed to be sending these fucking kids to go learn. So, yeah. So that's what that's basically the whole story. I mean, nothing too big. It's just odd that this guy that, is such a free speech advocate who, has been someone that will make fun of the easily offended left like anyone should. But when it comes to this little soft spot, it's very personal, but he doesn't even know the history of what he's so mad and shaking about. So I think there's one more tweet that he said. Okay, yeah, so quick update. Mo Khan is no longer taking any responsibility or involvement for the Fuck the Jew sign at Barstool Samson. He is basically lawyering up and blaming it all on his friend now and is saying he was just a citizen journalist. It is a 180 from my convo with him yesterday. Needless to say, his trip to Poland has been revoked. So that's probably where he originally said Germany. Which is hilarious, dude. Yeah, so I guess. Let's see. That's basically about it. Other than that, here's another one, I guess. This one's pretty recent. This one's from 7:30 this morning. So, 6ABC begged me to do an interview about the incident at our bar. Since it was local, I agreed. Then the reporter tried to say Barstool and I and white men were responsible for the incident. Austin started recording once it got contentious. Okay, I don't care. This is just some petty bullshit. And maybe these kids were joking. Maybe they thought it was funny. Maybe it's how they felt. Maybe they wanted to see how others around them in the bar were feeling if they said something like this, because, well, it's hard to gauge, when social media just completely censors as much as they can when it comes to combating anti-Semitism. But you can say whatever the fuck else you want about any. I mean, I honestly think the waitress that got fired because they doxed her is going to be something similar to the Shiloh Hendricks thing. The girl in the park, that had her shit stolen by an said to be autistic 5-year-old who we don't know is actually 5 either, which resulted in her using a word probably not appropriate for a kid. I'm not saying it's appropriate for an adult either, but this is just what happened. And I'm not going to inhibit people's right to free speech, which this is. Both of these situations, the Shiloh Hendricks in Minnesota with the little black kid being called slurs by Shiloh after stealing her stuff, that's a free speech issue. The fuck the Jew sign is a free speech issue. There is no criminal action being taken here by paying for a sign and then being a waitress that complies and makes the sign to say fuck the Jews. That's a fucking free speech issue. And also, we're not Israel. This is America. So, I mean, I don't see how anyone should be limiting the speech, especially when it says fuck and then it's pretty much, kind of hinting at another country and their influence over our country, which seems to be heavy. And so and same thing goes for Shiloh. I don't want to talk about her, even though she has now raised over $600,000, which is fucking crazy. But this is the easiest way to have another woman go on and start this fund account and raise even more than Shiloh will. I mean, I don't know if that's what the goal is, but I don't think so. And that's because people don't respond how I think the victims of these situations think they're going to. One, with the Shiloh, the guy recording and trying to be a hero was actually sitting in a park, I think he was 51 years old, Somali migrant, sitting in a park with no one else there, with no kids of his own, just sitting there, a children's park. Yeah, that's chill. That looks really chill. But yeah, he was the hero for about 6 hours until people looked at what was happening through the correct lens. And so yeah, the wannabe hero who was waiting for a child to come alone so he could probably clap its cheeks ended up coming across an altercation in which he could use as leverage on social media. And that did not work out well because people said, why? Hold on, dude. No one cares what she said, okay? It's not, okay, this is not a big deal, but you making it a big deal is weird. But the even weirder thing is that you're 50 years old, or no one had doxed him yet, but they were like, this guy's got to be a grown man, and he's sitting in the park by himself and no kids and no one else around him, and we're supposed to act like that was normal. Let's address that before we address this very simple issue, which is a free speech issue. And well, there's a right side and a wrong side. It wasn't the nicest thing or the best thing or the most moral thing to say, but I'm not going to talk about or inhibit people's right to free speech. That's retarded. That's why I can say it's retarded. And that's why I can say the things I say on this. Okay, so people need to understand the Constitution a little bit. But people looked at this guy and were like, hold on, let's talk about you. What are you doing? And it turns out he's a 51 Somali migrant that's a convicted pedophile. So, people get so hyped up over these situations on social media without seeing the big picture. And now it just snowballs into a whole bunch of different shit. And, well, one of the things is something like this, the fuck the Jews thing. I mean, the people that get fired will only grow in popularity and you'll only make them money. Now, I don't know if that's something you're trying to do. I don't know. But also, it's like this shit is just so not important. Dave Portnoy is like I said, he's going against how he's acted in the past. Pretty much everything. He's going against everything regarding how he's acted in the past. Free speech, criticism. Criticism when criticism is warranted, like the woke left being such a group of pussies that you gotta say something. He criticized COVID, but now he's a victim. So it's just weird that it's that one thing you can't say. And it makes you think, it's like, well, maybe they were just joking. It's a bunch of college kids probably, and they're like, okay, let's see what kind of reaction we can get. Maybe they're influencers. Maybe they're just fucked up and trying to be funny. Maybe they're fucked up and expressing how they feel. Maybe they can't gauge the vibe of America regarding the views on this situation in Israel and Gaza. And so they're going to kind of do something out of pocket like this and see what the reaction is. I don't know what their fucking motive is. I don't. I couldn't tell you. I don't really give a fuck. I don't know. I probably would have laughed a little bit. Okay. I wouldn't have attacked them like Dave Portnoy probably would have if he was there. But it makes you think, what if they were trying to express feelings they had in this manner? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what manner you'd want to ideally express it, but maybe they are just expressing some feelings, or maybe they're joking. I don't know. But if you think about it, maybe people aren't very tolerable and aren't very comfortable with our greatest ally completely just decimating a whole country that they occupy, killing, I think, somewhere around 50,000, 52,000 people in Gaza. Most of them are civilians, women and children. I mean, maybe people are kind of upset by that they have to watch on social media every day, even when Israel and Israel backed forces try to clear as much as they can from what you see, it still gets through. So maybe people are sick and tired and sick to the stomach and, kind of repulsed by seeing the complete destruction of a country that was occupied, getting Palantir used on them to scan and surveil them. And so maybe we're just not okay with watching videos of kids being blown up, with parents having their limbs blown off in front of their children, being stuck and buried under rubble in which they'll never be found. So I think that maybe this is a statement saying we're not okay with this anymore. Propaganda used to work. Now we have social media, so you can't tell us something is going on when we can see what's really going on. And so this is why the propaganda machine is just slowly dying, and they have to figure out new ways to surveil us, or to keep us under a controlled narrative. And I think Trump's that vehicle for them, but it's not working well because people don't support Trump's views on the vaccine, in which he was Warp Speed's architect. And also his views and loyalty to Netanyahu, Israel, and his son-in-law Jared Kushner. I don't know. So people aren't vibing with that. So I don't know. We'll see. But when you sit down and ask yourself about the situation, because it's really not that big of a deal, I think it's only going to stir commotion and create another individual that's just going to get a bunch of funds from people of one side, and which is going to cause the people of the other side to combat it. This is the same. They've done this 3 times now in what seems like 3 months. Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, Shiloh Hendricks and the little black kid and the Somali fucking pedophile, and then now we have the fuck the Jews sign with Dave Portnoy and the employees and customers of his bar in Philadelphia. And these are all things that will create two sides that will bicker at each other. And if you look at it, there's many different conclusions you can come to. Like I said, maybe people don't want to be involved, don't want to see, and don't want to tolerate using their tax money to carry out what's going on in Gaza right now, to kill 52,000 people, most of which are civilians, children, and women, that have their arms and legs blown off in front of their families, that are just burned alive, that are just decimated, buildings decimated, whatever is there decimated when they were already occupied. People aren't okay with it anymore. They don't want to be a part of it, but we're being dragged into it. So these are responses you will get. Also, even if that is the case, why are these things specifically going viral on X and other social media outlets? Despite the Diddy trial starting today, and despite that, there's so many other more important things going on that could be focused on, but that elites and powerful groups might not want the focus to actually be on, because it involves very sensitive information that would go against their controlled narrative that they need to keep the population of Israel and the US under. And so let's get into that. And before, I want to just say that today Trump announced that there's going to be a deadline for Hamas to comply with the ceasefire deal by May 15th. And well, I don't even know what to say to this. I mean, they're gonna say hostages. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. I mean, Israel took hostages too. This is vice versa. You can't use this excuse to literally carry out genocide, but we are a part of it. So it's a real weird situation for the United States. But so here's the AF post today on X. Israel has set a May 15th deadline timed with President Trump's Middle East visit to reach a ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza. If talks fail, Israel will launch Gideon's Chariots, a full reoccupation involving the destruction of all remaining structures and the mass relocation of nearly 2 million people to a designated humanitarian area. And then the AF Post also linked an article to Axios, and this was an article written by Barak Ravid, and the title is Israel Plans to Occupy and Flatten All of Gaza If No Deal by Trump's Trip. So weird. That's a terrible, unfinished title, but yeah. And I'll just go over some main points. So Israel has set President Trump's visit to the Middle East next week as a deadline for a new hostage and ceasefire deal, with a massive ground operation to commence if no deal is reached, Israeli officials say. Okay. And, well, so they're just going to go in and okay, here's some stats. So I was right. Israel's military operations in Gaza have killed 52,000 Palestinians, most of them civilians, according to the health ministry in Hamas-led Gaza. Yeah, and then there's there's a bunch of shit going on, but all efforts to span that gap have failed. The White House focus has shifted to the Russia-Ukraine war and nuclear talks with Iran, with little to no bandwidth for Gaza. That's just crazy, because anti-war Trump, stopped that war real quick. I mean, has made much more progress in the Russia-Ukraine war than he has in the Israel war. And it was almost night and day by how he was treating them. But we don't need to get into Russia, Ukraine. There'll be another time for that. I think there's one more thing. So yeah, the plan Israel approved Sunday, codenamed Gideon's Chariots, is aimed at completely defeating Hamas. According to the plan, the IDF would invade Gaza with 4 or 5 armored and infantry divisions and gradually occupy and hold most of the Strip. Israel's ultra-nationalist finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, said Monday that the occupation would be permanent and the IDF wouldn't pull back even in return for the release of the hostages. An Israeli defense official said permanent occupation is only an aspiration. The tactic will be massive destruction. As the IDF occupies parts of Gaza, it will flatten all buildings and work on destroying tunnel networks, as it did previously in Rafah and in the northern Gaza Strip. The IDF is planning to displace close to 2 million Palestinians to the Rafah area, where compounds for the delivery of humanitarian aid are being built. Yeah, so I mean that's all you need to know. And so yeah, so these are the people that are offended by a fuck a Jew sign, but it's okay for them to say, if you don't come to our terms by this date, and you don't stop doing what you're doing, which is, you know, shut the fuck up about October 7th, I understand, but nowhere close to what's happening to Hamas right now. Nothing to that scale happened to Israel. Not even on October 7th. Shut the fuck up. And you know Netanyahu in Israel and the people of Israel should ask, why during massive protest for his resignation, a common enemy was so quickly fucking manifested. Don't need to get into that. Just saying. So, yeah. I don't... So when you see a sign in a bar, that's Jew-owned maybe, and the reaction to it is not violent, it's more not, I don't know if it's agreeable with the people around the people in the video and taking the video and who had the sign, it seemed agreeable, but fairly neutral among everyone in the bar. And when you see something like that, think to yourself why that's happening, because you were told that this is the most heinous crime in the world, the worst thing you can do at the moment, the most threatening virus to the United States, which is anti-Semitism. And when you see it like this in the bar, I don't know if I'd call it anti-Semitism, maybe, I don't know. When you see something like this in the bar and the reaction to it is the way that it was, non-violent, almost agreeable, you got to wonder to yourself, why would that be when we were told that the complete opposite should happen? Told by whom? The people that it says fuck them. So yeah, when you see the sign, think about how the people around seeing the sign, putting the sign together, ordering the sign are feeling towards Israel, and could that be a general vibe that's coming from United States Americans that seems so beholden to Israel, but with no merit? Maybe the vibe is, we as Americans do not want to be involved in this war. We do not want to see videos every day and continue to send our tax money over to you when the videos that we're seeing every day are ones in which thousands of Palestinians are being blown to shreds, buried in rubble, burned alive with our weapons, our tax money, and eventually our soldiers, if we let this go on long enough. We don't want to see that anymore. We don't want to fund it. We don't want to be a part of it. But then that we come to wonder, why do we have to be a part of this? Why is it our greatest ally when I don't know one good thing that Israel has done in our interest? I don't know one instance in which Israel, I don't know one instance in which the U.S. benefited from Israel, and Israel did not benefit more than the U.S. in that situation. I don't even know if Israel's even benefited us at all, because it's all tied to sexual blackmail, Jeffrey Epstein, organized crime, and corruption. And this is the conclusion that you end up coming to, is that, yeah, I don't know if it's the right thing, the right message to say fuck the Jews, but when it comes to a point where you don't understand why you're seeing daily videos of Palestinian children and women being blown to shreds, having their families killed in front of each other, etc. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so basically, when you think about what Israel is to the U.S. and the pros and cons of this relationship, or this this bondsmanship, and you really examine it, then you start to see that when you have Jeffrey Epstein, Ehud Barak, Leslie Wexner, Robert Maxwell, organized crime, sex trafficking, blackmail, corruption, all being carried out on the U.S. by Israel, you start to notice why you're seeing these videos every day of Palestinian people being killed and this war in Gaza. And then you find out that this is why we're beholden to them. This is why we have to keep sending our tax money. This is why we can't call them anything else but our greatest ally, is because with the operations carried out by Jeffrey Epstein and many, many people before him, they have somehow acquired, so much blackmail that Israel has been able to stick its tentacles into every aspect of the United States government, and even into other foreign governments and countries as well. Ours is probably the most deeply enmeshed with blackmail from Israel. And our relationship with them, it's not an ally, they're essentially our handler. They have us tied up on a leash. We do what they do. They're our greatest ally. We fund them with all loyalty while stopping every other war. We have our politicians go kiss that fucking wall. We cannot criticize people from Israel or Israel itself or people in the United States that are Jewish. But you can criticize and mock whoever else you want. White people being the front runner, and Christians being the second thing, which is weird. But this is the conclusion many will come to, and this is what leads to people ordering and making "fuck the Jew" signs in a Jew-owned bar for everyone to witness in the bar. So that's what you get. When you don't understand why you have this very intimate relationship with another country that seems to have power over you, because you can't criticize them and their race and their religion and their country when they can do it to you. And well, also you read stories about Jeffrey Epstein, which I'll go into a little bit later in this podcast. I don't know. I'm sounding like a broken record. In short, it's going to be hard to convince a group, or it's going to be hard to convince the younger generations in the ones that follow them, and the ones that are still fairly young, like mine and the one above me. It's going to be hard to convince these generations that Israel is our actual greatest ally and has our best interest in mind, because of just the endless amounts of video footage we see of what they are carrying out on the Palestinian people. It does not add up, and it is horrendous and heinous to see. And people, will come to a point where they cannot tolerate seeing that, being a part of that, and especially funding that, and being told that they must be loyal to that. People will not tolerate that. They will make signs like this. And I'm not saying for good reason, but there is merit. And that's just where it goes, in my opinion. Well, that was maybe too long, but all right. So let's go into some actual important things that might have been censored by big tech that are going on today, and that might have been less focused on because of "fuck the Jew" signs and Shiloh Hendrix calling a little black retard kid something mean. But let's go in. We have the Diddy trial today, and there's not much that's going on today. And that, I don't know. They named 2 names. It was Michael B. Jordan and Mike Myers. Mike Myers played Austin Powers, I believe. I don't know anything else that he's in. Michael B. Jordan, everyone knows him. It's the hot black guy. It's the hot black guy that played fucking Black Panther. Probably the worst fucking Marvel movie ever made. I never even saw it. But, I can take the opinions of others on that one, and it's not the experts. But yeah, so we have those 2 named in the Diddy case, and really, I could give a fuck less. That's like giving us that fucking dead spider Hawking with Epstein, and other no names that they gave us. Like, you can give us all there's an endless amount, a grocery list, a fucking book that's as thick as a Harry Potter book. There's probably pages of names as thick as a Harry Potter book detailing, endless amounts of Hollywood actors and actresses and whatever other professions there are in that industry, just the entertainment industry. But they're worthless. They're worthless. I'd rather you just let those people go free. Convicting them does nothing. They have replacements, maybe clones, who knows, but if not, they have replacements that are already set up for these people's roles. It doesn't matter. They're not powerful at all. They have nothing they can give in exchange for a lesser sentence. They are just a quick and easy way to seal this trial so that it can't be reopened again, and that's who we get. And this is it's bullshit. I don't give a fuck about them. I give a fuck less about these actors. I don't care, dude. Everyone knows they were fucking probably diddling fucking kids. What else are you doing on a movie set all day? What else are you doing in Hollywood? But nonetheless, there's probably a reason that they didn't give out bigger names. Maybe. I have no clue. The Met Gala is today. LeBron James is a co-chairman of the Met Gala. However, he put out a very mysterious tweet today regarding his inability to attend the event he's co-chairing. And, well, when you think about what else is going on today, what could this mean? He said it was a knee injury from basketball, I believe. Here, I'll just read it. So, LeBron James is a co-chair of tonight's Met Gala, taking place, and this is Liz Crocken, taking place up the street from the courthouse where Diddy's trial began today, and he's canceled due to a knee injury. This was LeBron James' original tweet. Unfortunately, because of my knee injury I sustained at the end of the season, I won't be able to attend the Met Gala in New York tonight, as so many people have been asking and congratulating me on. Hate to miss a historical event. My beautiful, powerful queen will be there, holding the castle down as she always does. Or as she always has done. Okay, so yeah. So he has a knee injury that he sustained at the end of the season, but he's co-chairing this event, but he can't make it. But his wife, his beautiful, powerful queen, will be there. I would have thought that was you in that maid outfit, LeBron. Ain't no party like a Diddy party, am I right? In that little maid outfit, looking like a total fucking fag. Looking like a cum trapper, bro. But nonetheless, he can't make it. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe he actually is hurt. One of the most able athletes of our generation, can't make a very simple fashion event because of a knee injury. Seems a little weird, but maybe he's not lying. But given that you got names of these actors that don't mean shit, like Mike Myers and Michael B. Jordan, there's probably a reason that they haven't started naming anything very, very important yet. because of tonight, the Met Gala, because there's going to be a lot of people there, the fashion industry, which is where Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy and a lot of human trafficking organizations operate, because it's very, very easy access to attractive women, younger women, and women that are looking for reassurance or acceptance, essentially. Troubled women. This is the hot spot, and even better in these types of shows and in this industry as well as the art industry. No phones and cameras are allowed when you're in these events, so it makes it very easy for the traffickers to do what they need to do. And well, the Met Gala. This is one of the biggest fashion events of the year. It's some of the most obvious symbolism that goes on via the outfits that are created by the designers and the celebrities decided to or chosen to wear them. And LeBron, for some weird reason, was the co-chair of this. Crazy. And he can't make it. And Diddy's trial started today. Maybe there's going to be a lot of reporters there. Maybe one of those reporters thinks, I'm going to act up today and ask this motherfucker what a Diddy party's like. Maybe lawyers, PR agents told LeBron it's probably not a good idea for you to be there. And regarding other high-profile names that will, because LeBron is brought up in this trial. We already know that he's going to be brought up as a witness in the trial of Diddy alongside Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm sure Jay-Z and Beyonce will be there tonight at the Met Gala as well. I don't know. There's probably a handful, if not many handfuls, of people at the Met Gala tonight that are going to be named in the Diddy trial. Now, whether these names actually mean anything to us or can actually help bring justice to this whole entire situation, I don't think so. I think they're going to give us a bunch of fucking actors, actresses, and bullshit people that can't do anything when convicted because they know nothing. They're guilty, and well, they're just puppets. I mean, they're puppets of the puppets. You have them, and then you have the people controlling them, and then you have the people controlling them, and then you get to the 13 royal families at the end of the day, the black royalty, as some would call it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on this so far. I'm definitely going to stay updated on this because this is an insane and very important case, and people put so much attention towards the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, which was them screaming and acting very psychotic and shitting in each other's bed or shitting on each other's side of the bed. And that's what their trial consisted of. Well, this trial consists of crimes against children. And if you don't tune in and you tuned into that, then you're just a faggot pussy. Okay? And that's actually what I think of you. It's important. There's a reason why we're seeing all this fuck the Jew sign and this Shiloh Hendricks shit and so much other bullshit going on Twitter. But when you go on, it's very hard to find Sean Combs or P. Diddy or any other keywords for this whole trial to come up anywhere. It's not trending. It's not under the news thing, the news tab. It's not under the entertainment tab. I did find P. Diddy under the entertainment tab under music. Didn't find much about the trial. It's almost like they're trying to keep this under wraps, because the more media attention you give this, the harder it is for them to get away with bullshit and lie and hold people accountable. This is why Jeffrey Epstein was so easily let go in early 2000s during his first arrest and able to keep going and doing what he was doing for so long, is because there was no attention brought to it. Need to bring attention to these things and they'll start giving us the names we want. But it may be the organizations we want, like CPS. But it starts with us. So, yeah, my thoughts. I think it's going to go 8 weeks. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a long time, long trial. It's going to be in depth. We already got Michael B. Jordan and Mike Myers, some fucking pussy, no-name throwaways that have no ability to bring justice to anyone. But that's who we got. I mean, it's something. It starts. It gets the attention, hopefully, of people. And now what we need to focus on is why LeBron didn't show up to the Met Gala when he is the co-chair of the event. That's weird. Fashion industry, the most utilized industry of culture for trafficking operations. We know this. And so much more. And we'll have to see if Jay-Z and Beyonce are at the Met Gala, because LeBron, Jay-Z, and Beyonce are all brought up as witnesses in the P. Diddy trial. And I'm sure many more will. Those names will actually, now that will be some juicy shit. So ain't no party like a Diddy party. And Beyonce is not a fucking country singer, so stop praising her as one. She's a retard, and her little fucking daughter, Blue Ivy, is another retard that doesn't know how to dance. Jay-Z could probably smell a fucking wire on someone. Jay-Z looks... Jay-Z... yeah. Jay-Z might just sniff out your wire if you're wearing one around him. He might just sniff out fucking... Well, I don't know. Probably sniff out your asshole. So yeah, we'll keep updated on that one. We'll keep updated. We got 8 weeks. We'll see. I heard that what's her name? Pompeo? No, what's her? I don't know who the judge is. I think it might be the daughter of someone that would be very sketchy. But I don't want to go too much more into that. Got some other. We'll stay updated. What next? Okay, so we have. Oh, well, let's actually stay on this subject for a second, but switch it towards Jeffrey Epstein, because Virginia Giuffre, which was the number one witness in the Epstein case, and she was a victim in the Epstein case. I think she might have even been one of the women that they groomed to actually start taking part in the trafficking operations. I know Rachel Chandler was, for sure. Now, if I go to Twitter, or I hate that. Guys. Not TikTok. If I go to X, let me go Virginia. Let's go Virginia Giuffre. Let's see if we can get any. So, I don't want the hashtag. I know for a fact she was definitely a victim. I also know, because from the book I just read, I was going to review it after this, so I will do that in a sec. But I do know for a fact that Virginia Giuffre did have sexual interactions with Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew subsequently paid her out the $60 million to avoid a public trial. And Epstein was known to have specifically tasked her with this operation. He would send her in to have these interactions with Prince Andrew. She would come back and she would answer the questions that Jeffrey specifically asked her to find out, specifically regarding his sexual proclivities and things like this, where Jeffrey Epstein could get a general idea of what he likes and then target that. And that's why he was so easily able to get people like Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, some would say Donald Trump, scientists like Steven Pinker, that retard that was definitely not an astrophysicist, Stephen Hawking, and many, many, many more. I mean, just all across the board. And Ghislaine too was integral to the whole operation. Without her, it doesn't work. But before we go into Virginia Giuffre's, I just want to say that, well, the way she died, she had been in a horrible car accident like a week prior to dying, and that was already weird. It had a lot of Princess Diana assassination attempt vibes, which is common now. It's with journalists, especially. With electric cars becoming more and more popular, and, well, you don't need an all-electric car to hack, but you can hack any car that uses electric, what should I say, just electric systems. You can hack into it, and you can, guide it into a wall going 110 miles per hour. You can guide it to, if it's a Tesla, self-drive to the police because we need to talk to you. blah, 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 blah. When we use electric systems to this degree, they can be hacked into easily. And, well, you don't really have the freedom you think you have. And so she was in a terrible accident, I think a week prior, and she survived. And this was something similar to Princess Diana's situation, but she ended up dying. Now, a week later, she allegedly dies by suicide. Sorry, I'm retarded. Unalived herself. So, very, very suspicious. I should note that, like, way prior to all of this stuff happening, she had put out a message saying, in no way, the typical message that people put out before they kill themselves, in no way am I suicidal, yada, 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 which everyone, seems to make clear to the public before they shoot themselves in the chest with a shotgun twice and then, throw the gun dozens of yards away from them, but somehow kill themselves. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton victims, but this one might have, I don't know, this one could have been a fucking another Hillary Clinton victim if I'm being honest, because we know Virginia Giuffre probably had some type of interaction with Bill Clinton. So, okay, this is actually her post. I don't know when it was. So yeah, she said, I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. All right. And then so, yeah, I don't know. And it's weird because it's been 9 days. This guy makes a great point. It's been 9 days since Virginia Giuffre was murdered, while Epstein documents remain on Pam Bondi's desk. Documents that will redact the names like Jeffrey Epstein and Ehud Barak and any other intelligence-linked aspects of the whole situation. So, yeah, so I don't know. No one's talking about the car crash. Oh, here we go. So Ryan Dawson tweeted this on the 25th of last month. So Virginia Giuffre, her kidney failure wasn't from the car crash. Going to the hospital because of the car crash serendipitously alerted doctors to her kidney condition that was already terrible. They told her she had about 4 days to live if she didn't get treatment. She wanted to see her kids. No one came. Her kidneys were most likely dying from pills and the sexual abuse plus looming divorce, plus being separated from her kids, plus tabloids attacking her, was killing herself. She self-medicated. She died last night, April 25th, in near Gabby. So, yeah. So, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. That's odd. So, she's dead. And, she was paid $60 million to not take the trial with Prince Andrew public. And who knows what else she knew. But she's gone now. And, I'm sure any other people and victims involved in this situation, the Epstein, Diddy, will also be eliminated as well. I think that might be it for the day, and we're at about an hour. I got a little bit more that I could do. Yeah, Trump orders the reopening of Alcatraz prison. Now, I don't know why that's happening. I've seen multiple theories. I'm just going to wait to comment on that. Maybe it was an old military base. Maybe it was... I don't know. Yeah. Maybe, actually. Oh, yeah. I saw something linking Canada and the UK to trafficking allegations that happens at Alcatraz via the tours that they have set up with companies in Canada, UK, and the US, which offer it's essentially a cruise that the company offers. And there's a lot of fishy shit that goes on within this cruise, and they go out to galas and, you know, these weird shows and whatnot. And, well, maybe Trump might be attacking that. I don't know. Only a theory. Maybe he's just doing dumb shit to distract us from what's really going on. I have no fucking clue. So, yeah, and then this is probably the most positive thing that came out of today. And, well, I don't know if it's going to do much benefit, but we can sure fucking be optimistic, I hope. But I think the damage might have been done already. And so I'm just going to play this clip, and then I'll go. All right, here we go.
Gain of function research. Gain of function, the first relates to gain of function research. Gain of function research is a type of biomedical research where pathogens are adulterated, viruses are adulterated to make them more potent or to change the way that they function. Many people believe that gain of function research was one of the key causes of the COVID pandemic that struck us in the last decade. What this executive order does, first of all, it provides powerful new tools to enforce the ban on federal funding for gain of function research abroad. It also strengthens other oversight mechanisms related to that issue and creates an overarching strategy to ensure that biomedical research in general is being conducted safely and in a way that ultimately protects human health more.
It's a big deal. Could have been that we wouldn't have had the problem we had.
All right. Yes, I'm excited that you banned gain of function research in this manner, but you know, the virus has already got out, and the real danger to American health is the mRNA vaccine technology. And given that the gain of function research that ended up creating the COVID-19 virus has already been released, and that gain of function research has done its job, the mRNA vaccine technology has been rolled out to more than 50% of the public. And, well, I mean, you can only imagine that the food supply is going to be hit with the mRNA vaccine. The food supply, not only that, but the water, the, you know, just the just the general living environment of the humans is going to be bombarded with mRNA technology, mRNA vaccine. I hate to call it that because it's not that, but mRNA technology. And if you didn't get the jab, which shout out you if you didn't, some real shit. There's not too many left. If you didn't already get that, well, they can get it through food, or they can get it through some other type of means. They've already rolled these things out, and I think Jack Cruz actually said something. So Jack Cruz, brilliant doctor. This is who you should listen to regarding health and others. He's a primary one for me, though. He commented to this announcement by saying it's too late when over 50% got the jab, and the other 50% are going to get it from the blood supply and from the food supply loaded with mRNA technology. So I think he's right. All right. I'm going to try to get a guest or someone to talk to for the Patreon for this episode, so stay tuned. This was the first hour. I'm hoping I can get someone for the second hour. If not, I'll do a Patreon episode, and we'll go into the deep waters of the Epstein case. And I don't know. I'll find some other fun stuff to go into on the Patreon. So, peace.
You scurvy shyster bastard. I'm a doctor of journalism now.